All right, video time. We've got everything set up. We brought our, if you watch the other series, we brought our little backhoe down and set him off over there. So he's ready to do the digging out back. I don't want to work inside with him if I can help it, because then you got to dump your dirt inside. Then there'll be piles of dirt to work around. We don't want that. I built our lifting beam. This is 2x10, 3 of them. Now these are the U-shaped ends that I purchased for the lifting shores. You can have them for 1.5, 3, and 4.5. You know, I wanted, that's a happy medium. You can have it for 4 layers thick too, which is getting into an extremely heavy-duty beam. 2, I probably would have wished I could go more. So here we are. You can also vary the dimension here. I could use 2x8 or 2x6 if I was working really short, but this is 16 feet. Our barn is about 32, so this will allow us, if we're about center in here, our desired post locations are each corner and then about 1/3 of the way down. So 128 inches from the end is that mark, 128 inches from the end is that mark, and you know, we've got the beam kind of centered in the building, and these are 128 inches apart. I put the ends right onto the beam, because what we're going to do is we're going to use the machine to pick it up to where it's touching, and then we're going to toenail screw into each one of the joists from this side and the other. And then we can take, well, we may just leave the machine for the time being. We could, in theory, take it away, but the beam will then have been installed overhead, and we'll just move it back. You know, we'll dial it in back and forth to the center of the building. It doesn't have to be perfect. We just want to be roundabout. And then we have the ends of these ready to plug in to our lifting shores. So what I'll probably do is I'll do just that. I'll take the flat plate off the top. Actually, I'm going to turn this around so the actuator, the thrust bearing that you turn, will be at the base. So these are upside down. We'll take the flat end off and we'll plug it into the U shape, and we'll let it dangle. Too short, it'll hang straight down. It'll sort of self-plumb. It'll hang directly straight down. And then we'll know where on the floor we need to do some cribbing. Like Lincoln Logs will do a pair of blocks like this, then back, then that, and we'll make a little foot that disperses our load, spreads out the weight, and has a nice level base. And on top of that little construction, we will put a couple layers of LVL, which is some of the same stuff that we're going to use for the beams here. It's a laminated veneer lumber, or glue lams they call them. It's a very heavy plywood. We use something just like this in the load-bearing wall removal video series. We actually use the same dimension. This is the beam that we're going to use for this building. Now, I went to the local lumber supply, and when they cut that stuff to length, it's very usable in different lengths, even down to maybe even 6 feet in a small dimension. But you get to a point where all your remnant pieces are useless for the most part, and they had a nice big pile there. So this is what we're going to put on top of our cribbing stack to create a composite surface that ties it all together. We'll probably do 2 layers of that. 1, 2. I got 4 pieces here on top of each cribbing arrangement for a nice solid foot like that. And then the last piece of the puzzle, just for kicks, because we have them, our buddy Don lent them to me. We got some plates of steel here. Where did we put those? There they are. So we got some 1/2-inch steel plate. And this is all a bit over-engineered, but again, we had things that we could borrow, and you know, that makes an excellent, extremely tough surface there. Maybe overkill. These have holes in them, makes them nice to carry around, but they're actually trebuchet weight. Just keep hanging these on and dial in a trebuchet. He teaches shop at the local high school, so he's done some lifting like I'm doing with these, and he uses them for that purpose as well. So anyway, we'll know by locating the beam, because we have this machine, and it's like a crew of guys here working for me that I don't have to cut checks for every week, although when I do cut a check for it, it's a lot more expensive. But these will hang and kind of locate and plot our cribbing location good enough, and then we can start screwing the thrust bearing out and come into contact, come into contact, and then we'll take the strap off from around the bucket and just continue to run them out until we start to come up tight and get to a point where the beam is tight to the bottom of all the joists and the shore poles are plumb. We'll check them with the level and they have a nice footing, and then we'll fold up the machine and drive it out of here, and we'll have this nice arrangement here to dial up or down on two ends and control the lifting of the middle of this wall, because we've decided that with measuring, we used the laser transit in here to create a plane, and we measured up to the bottom surface of the joist. You could pick anything, but you want to make it the same theoretical plane. The bottom of all these joists should theoretically be one flat plane. The bottom of the subfloor should be one flat plane. The bottom of the plate, the wall plate up there, should be one flat plane all the way around in theory. I like to use the bottom of the floor joist because it's direct. It's directly measuring to the source of the issue. So we did the same measurement from those down to the laser line at all four corners, and at these 2 points where we desire to have posts in the sides of the long, or at these points on the long wall, we got our numbers. What we found out was, if you just discuss the 4 corner points of this barn, the front 2 are at exactly the same plane. The back 2 are at exactly the same plane, but the back plane is a ½ inch lower than the front. So over the length of the barn, the back is down ½ inch. However, we also got measurements at the thirds, these locations here, and they are down some and down not so much and down a lot and down not so much. So despite the fact that the 4 corners make that illusion, the reality is that this goes down and then down again and then back up to that point, and here it goes down some and then down a little bit more and then back up to that point. So that's why we're underneath the big middle section here. This is how we're going to begin. We're going to get this up underneath a big group of floor joists, and then we're going to take it up and look at our measurements so that this goes all the way off the foundation wall in each of those points to get it up to the exact same level that the outside corners are at. And then we should basically have a flat plane across the back. However, it's that ½ inch too low as compared to the front. But that will mean that we have a straight shot in here. Then we can notch out every one of these studs, take that ledger out of here, and take a notch all the way out, and it's perfectly straight. We'll measure down from the joist. We could do that now, but we'll do it when everything's perfectly straight here to work to a best practice. And then we can come in and install that LVL out there as the main carrying beam, because they're straight sections, just like this is. You can notice that goes down there. So if this is wandering right now, even if we were to measure down from the joist and make a line on the stud, cut the stud and take everything out of there, that cavity would wander. So we're going to bring this middle up to its level with the ends so that the cavity is straight. Then we can take those straight pieces of LVL and put 1, 2 16-footers in end to end, and then we'll put another 16-footer on top of that in the middle, and we'll cut the last 16-footer in half and put half of it on this side, half of it on that side. So we have a nice double layer beam in here, and we'll pin it all together straight. And then we'll go up that ½ inch more out here with this carrying beam, and then we'll install 1, 2 posts. At that point we'll dig down outside, put our footings, put our posts, and then we'll relocate and put one shore over here, go up that last ½ inch, smash out the concrete, dig, put a footing, and put the post in there, rinse and repeat at the other end, and the back wall will be up to the level that the front is and perfectly arrow straight level. And then we'll turn this whole thing around and rinse and repeat the front. The front's more complicated because it has this opening that we got to take the door out of it, etc., and the concrete is more, you know, it's in better shape up here, so it's going to fight us more. This here you can dig it apart with your fingers. So that's sort of where we are, and this is about where we'll call it quits for tonight. Thanks for watching. We'll see you.